All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first 1883 speaker series of the spring 2025 semester. My name is Mike Wozniak. I'm the coordinator of leadership and programming in the Student Involvement and Parent Programs Office. In the next 18 minutes and 83 seconds, we'll learn a new lesson on leadership, as well as some advice to guide our personal and professional development. For today's speaker, please join me in welcoming the Director of Marketing at the Alerus Center and UND alumnus, Matthew Ternus.
Thank you all so much for having me. How are we doing today? Good. So a little bit about me. Again, I am the Director of Marketing over at the Alerus Center working for the Oakview Group. I'm a proud UND alum with graduated with a degree in political science. So that means I'm a lot of fun at family gatherings. Thank you for the pity laughs there. We're going to keep that up. Outside of my role at the Alerus Center, I am the past president of the Greater Grand Forks Young Professionals. I'm the vice president of Evolve Grand Forks, and I'm on the board of directors for the Northern Valley Youth Orchestra. If you ask my girlfriend, she'd say I'm involved in way too much, but that's the way I like it. So I like to stay busy, I like to be involved, and with that too, I am involved in our local art scene. I am a stand-up comedian and an improv comedian. Woo! How many of you have seen me before? Too many people. All right. This is good. So I always like to start my stand-up sets with a little activity to warm up the crowd. What we're going to do is we're going to divide it right down the middle. So you two right here in the green and in the vest, you're on opposite ends here, okay? And I'm like Taylor Swift, right? Like, I feel powerful with this finger. And when I point at your side of the stands here, I want to clap, I want to cheer, I want this union to know that there's something going on here, all right? Can we do that? Yeah. Sure, yeah. We've never had an 1883 like this before. Mike will never invite me back. That's okay. So, what was that? I'm up here now. These next 17 minutes are ours, right? So let's do this. Let's start with this side. Yeah. Hey, shout out to you all up there for participating too. That's awesome. Now let's hear this side. Okay, we can do better than that, right? Let's hear it again. All right, I said we can do better than that. Let's hear it again. Yeah, there we go. Now both sides together. Awesome. Hey, thanks for participating. I learned a lesson from Dr. Munsky, and there's a piece of candy for you. So I've learned a lot of things through performing and through stand-up comedy that the lessons in that have transferred to the professional world really well. And so today we're going to talk through some of those things. And one of the first lessons I learned in leadership thanks to comedy is that it is all about keeping your cool. Like that time I booked a meeting room for my team and confidently led them in there, and it ended up being a broom closet. Now, when you're in a situation like that, it's important to keep composure. Just like when you're on stage performing, leaders must keep composure, even in stressful and often embarrassing times. So the first thing I quipped is, this is the perfect place for us to clean up this project. Thanks for the womp womp. That was good. Leadership can sometimes feel like juggling while riding a unicycle on a tightrope. You're just trying to keep balance. You're just trying to keep it all together. And if you fall, and all leaders eventually experience a fall, what matters is that you laugh, you collect yourself, and you move forward. Oh, I have other slides on this. So this was me leading my team into the broom closet. This is us realizing we're in a broom closet. We're all caught up now. So, fun fact, about 4 years to this day, I was in Bismarck with President Armacost testifying in front of the Senate Appropriations Committee, and we had a PowerPoint, and I forgot to click the PowerPoint 4 times. President Armacost had to run up and do it. So, I have notes in my script to move the slides. I'm just not following that. So, you all are in for a roller coaster. But speaking of President Armacost, an observation I have about leadership and comedy is that some of the best leaders are a lot like the best comedians. And I've learned that the best laughs and the best lessons come from being real, having authentic leadership, which I think President Armacost and Stephen Colbert embody fully. They embrace vulnerability, and most importantly, they know how to laugh at themselves and at situations. And those lessons have deeply shaped how I approach leadership. And thank you all for laughing. I have laugh cue cards at any point. So if a joke doesn't land and this pops up, feel free to laugh. Let's just rehearse that one time here. Perfect. Let's rehearse it one more. Awesome. Thank you all. You all get it. Another thing that I've kind of learned throughout my professional and then my comedic journey is that people don't follow titles. They follow people. And the best leaders I know, much like President Armacost, and unfortunately I don't know Stephen Colbert, but I'd like to think he's the same, they're ones who show them their genuine selves. Their flaws, their quirks, everything about them, they try to carry both in their professional capacity and in their personal capacity. They're the ones who let their personalities shine through their work and their actions. Being authentic, being vulnerable isn't a weakness, it's a superpower. You know, one example here, I was once trying to give this big motivational speech to my team, and midway through, I realized my fly was down. And yeah, you already know where it's going. And rather than, trying to shy away from it, I embraced the moment, zipped it up, and made a comment about it. My entire team laughed, and that meeting ended up being one of our most productive meetings because we broke through the ice. We broke through the tension, and we were able to laugh with one another. And authenticity like that is the foundation of trust, and trust is the currency of leadership. When you're real with people, they'll be real with you, and that's when the magic happens. Thank you. Now, this image actually isn't a cue card. This is actually just for the next point here that I want to make, and that's that humor creates connections. It's a universal translator. It works across departments. It works across classes, student organizations. It works everywhere in your life, both in personal and professional spheres. Everyone laughs. And if you don't, I hope you'll join us across the street at the Open Mic Comedy Night on June 30th at the boardroom when they reopen for a chance to try to laugh. Yeah, let's give them a round of applause. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. When you laugh with your team, you're not just a boss or a leader. You're a human being. Humor dissolves barriers, making room for collaboration and creativity. A positive environment is a productive one. Leaders who can laugh at themselves and let others too foster creativity and trust. I want you all to think of humor as like the WD-40 of relationships. It keeps everything running smoothly. Now, I remember a particularly stressful project where we were all on edge once, and instead of pushing the team harder, we took a pause. I wheeled in a whiteboard, and on the top wrote across it, "We're doomed." Everyone laughed at that, much to the surprise of this group, I'm sure. And we had one of our best problem-solving meetings to date. It brought the team closer, and we had a fantastic resolution to that situation. Now, I love Dolly Parton, but leadership is not just something that happens when you're working 9 to 5. Leadership happens outside of the office. It happens in your personal life. Whether you are volunteering, whether you are coaching a little league team or standing up telling stand-up comedy jokes, leadership follows you everywhere. Great leadership isn't confined to conference rooms. It's not confined to your fraternity or sorority executive meeting. It's lived out in everyday moments. When I started doing stand-up comedy, I never thought that would be something that helps make me a better leader. But it's taught me to connect with a wide variety of audiences and diverse populations and to embrace moments of vulnerability. It's amazing how much overlap there is between telling a joke and giving a pep talk. In both cases, you're trying to connect, to inspire, and to leave people better than you found them. I once had an audience that just wasn't laughing at my jokes. And instead of panicking, I paused and said, "Let's all agree this isn't working, but we're in this together." They laughed at that, and we found a rhythm. Leadership works the exact same way. Leadership works when you acknowledge the moment, when you adapt, and when you move forward. Now, comedy forces you to master public speaking, right? The best comedians are some of the best public speakers. It teaches you how to command a room, keep people engaged, and make your message memorable. Everyone walks out from a comedy show just like they walk out from a big conference, remembering one key detail about that show, at least. Whether delivering a punchline or a presentation, it's all about the ability to connect with an audience. That's the most valuable piece. When life doesn't go as planned, neither does leadership. Comedy, especially improv comedy, I have some of my improv comedy troupe members here. Thank you all for being here. Especially improv comedy teaches you to think on your feet and adapt in real time. And these skills translate directly to handling unexpected challenges in your workplace, in your academics, in your extracurriculars, in all aspects of your life. That ability to adapt helps you navigate tough situations and avoid potential hardships and disasters. One of the best pieces of advice I ever received from a fellow comedian is that timing is everything. And that if you can't read a room, how will you ever lead a room? You learn to read the room by listening to your audience and delivering at the right moment. And in leadership, those same lessons apply. Great leaders know when to speak, when to listen, and when to act. Getting up on stage is daunting. I'm sweating right now. I'm not taking off this jacket anytime soon. But the more you do it, the more confident you become. And that confidence carries over into leadership, helping you tackle the conversations that might be upcoming and make bold decisions. Leadership isn't about, I had the note to flip there, so I really wanted to exaggerate that. Leadership isn't about being perfect. It's about being relatable. When you're authentic with the people around you, when you're authentic with your team and everyone that you interact with, that's how you create that foundation of trust. And that foundation of trust is what great leadership is. So my challenge to you all is to be a genuine leader, to be an authentic self. Embrace your quirks, show up as your true self each and every day in every meeting, in every class, in every student org meeting that you have, everywhere. Show up as your true, authentic self. Whether you're in a boardroom, a classroom, or you're in a team meeting with me in my broom closet that I reserved, leadership follows you each and every space. The next time you're in a leadership moment, I want you all to ask yourself this one thing. Am I showing up as my authentic self? Am I listening? Am I adapting? And am I connecting? Those small reflections can make a big difference. And if I can leave you all with one last thing, it's that leadership isn't about having all the best jokes. It doesn't hurt if you do, but it's not about having all the best jokes. If you're ever stuck, just remember this one last thing. When in doubt, laugh it out. Thank you all so much for having me.
Thanks so much for joining us, and thanks to all of you. Our next speaker will be joining us virtually, so you can join us via Zoom, or we will be broadcasting it on the screen up here. It'll be on January 30th when we welcome President and CEO of the Minnesota Twins, Dave St. Peter. Have a great rest of your week. Thank you.